Uh, so welcome, and this will get posted up to YouTube. I've been trying to be better with that. I do have an official YouTube channel up for Famous Foxes. So for those of you that aren't subscribed to it, if you wouldn't mind jumping in there, subscribing, feel free to watch it. Throw it up as background noise. It just helps us out, helps kind of grow, the community a bit, our awareness in general. It throws things out there. I know we've got a few other folks within our community that create some good content for themselves, but about foxes. So certainly appreciate that. And yeah, I think I see home requested. We'll bring you up in the meantime just to see what you got going on, and we'll go from there. Let's see, you're connecting still. There you are. How's it going, home? I think you come up muted if you want. I think you unmute in the bottom left-hand corner if you had a question. Maybe they're getting rugged by Twitter. I'll drop you back down if you have any other questions. Feel free to request again. But I'll kind of go through some of our announcements and such that we had go out throughout the week, um, just to kind of touch on some of the items that we've been pushing out to y'all. I think for the most part, everyone's been pretty happy with what we've been doing. Um, Kind of starts off with our I guess our marketplace. Our marketplace came out. I know we were teasing some of it. We got our dens marketplace out. Um, in a way that you can add more rooms to your dens. I know a lot of people have been interested in that. After our mint, seeing having three interior rooms or up to six for the more rare ones. I actually seen. I think we had a few decent sales this morning for some of the six-room dens, so they definitely seem to be in high demand, and they're quite fun. It was funny. I was looking around to see, what the sales were this morning when I got up, and I saw, I think it was a Hobbit den that sold for 2.5 Solana, I believe, and I was like, wow. I thought our floor was up. I thought it was up to like one ish, give or take, but not 2.5. And here it was one that had six interior rooms. So I'm looking forward to seeing, how people go and modify and customize their dens. Everyone seems to kind of enjoy them, and I know we added the leaderboard to it to kind of make it a little bit more fun for those of you degens out there trying to, increase the score of your dens to see who can get to the top of the leaderboard. Granted, the top for the most part is the one for ones that we have in our collection, but it's certainly quite fun to kind of see people build out their dens in that competitive style, if you will. So keep up the good work there. If there's questions, suggestions on rooms, I've had some people, comment on rooms that they might be interested in having. I think one that we at least jotted down is kind of an apothecary, something similar to maybe like a Harry Potter style-esque feel to it. So that's something that we'll be exploring. Right now, we're working on a couple of other collections a couple other dens for other collections to kind of spread our awareness. Because as you had seen as well within, I think, that same announcement, we put out the Solstead's den. So both an exterior, interior. You guys can purchase the interior if you're interested. That's gone over to their. We'll be going over to their DAO, just like the Pesky Penguins Igloo has. But it just kind of helps spread the awareness, of our dens and a little bit about the utility side for what we've created. And I see that Papa has joined us up here on speakers. I just started off on our announcements. I'm not sure if you wanted to jump in and say anything, or if you want me to just continue through this, and then we'll kind of jump into the team after that. Whatever your guys' preference is.
I'm just gonna let you continue for now. I
Okay.
think you're on a good roll here.
Nope. That sounds good. That sounds good. The second bigger item that we put out there was supporting multiple NFTs for a Foxy swap. So I know a lot of people have been asking for the idea of maybe swapping like one for two NFTs, and Dev could probably go a little bit more into the specifics around it. But basically, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think one contract, you're able to do up to 6 in a total submission, and you could do 1 for 5, 2 for 4, 3 for 3, whatever your fancy is for mixing and matching NFTs. But that's just to guarantee that the exact trade you want to do is going to go through, and you can add Solana on each side as well. But if you have more than 6 NFTs, it would take more than one transaction, and just at least with some of the recent activity on Solana, there could be a potential of one transaction not going through, and it only ends up partially filling, and that could just expose people from a security side of things. I'm not sure, Dev, if there's anything you wanted to add to that.
Sorry, I had to what?
No, I just meant like if there's anything to like the utility side for Foxy Swap with multiple NFTs. I don't know if you think in the future will we be able to put more than 6 NFTs in one transaction
Yeah,
possibly? Yeah.
yeah. So, like as I talked about it, the day we launched. So, due to like Solana's transaction size limit, I could only fit in like 6 at once. But it's technically possible to extend it. But I think right now I rolled on that because Solana TPS like keeps going up and down pretty quickly daily. So technically we can do like over 100 or whatever we want. But yeah.
Do you think their transaction size will ever get larger for a single
Yeah,
transaction?
so yeah, I read what Anatoly said a few weeks back. He said they could double it potentially. So
Okay.
yeah, yeah. So maybe we could fit in like 10 at that time.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, so I guess and technically, I mean, whenever they do double it,
I
right?
mean, I can't imagine anyone doing more than 5 or 6, like unless like unless you are doing like 100 foxes for one monkey or something.
I was gonna say, or like 100 geckos for one fox or something,
Right.
based off of their based off their recent price action.
Yeah.
Yeah. But still, I mean, I think there's definitely some potential value. I mean, depending on the trade side of things, and I agree with you. I don't think a lot of people are going to want to swap, a significant portion of NFTs just for one. It really kind of depends on your conviction for one collection over another. Um, but again, it's more so the idea of Foxy Swap is on the security side within the space for OTC trades, especially. It's just to kind of make sure we reduce exposure to scams as best as possible, because they still exist. I think Brink posts at least once every week for people trying to DevNet scam him, and I'm a huge fan of his ridiculous paint famous facts Fear Nation NFTs that he creates on DevNet and sends out to people.
Uh,
Just
yeah,
I
actually, yeah. I think he gave away someone minute with a giveaway.
he gave that away like as an actual NFT on the
Yeah,
real on
yeah,
real.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
hilarious.
I think Marcus won it.
That's amazing. And I was gonna see, I see Dre throwing up some crying emojis down there. I think I don't know how difficult it is to make GIF NFTs, but I know you guys have been doing some pretty fire GIF Fox NFTs, maybe, or GIF Fox things. I wonder if we could turn those into some NFTs and do something with that. It'd be kind of fun. Next item we put out was our partnership that we have with Savannah. So Savannah has kind of been put on our radar by I think a few people from our DAO. Kind of like what they're doing with their metaverse play. They've got a pretty interesting platform. Seems very fun. They're integrating a decent amount of projects, and they've got a decent backing to them as well. So we kind of see them, as being a decent future metaverse play. And as far as the integration side of things goes, their team does kind of really the heavy lifting. It's kind of more so figuring out, what do we want to do as far as the integration piece goes within their metaverse. Um, so the one thing that they have coming up, if anyone's interested, is I believe some level of a poker tournament. So I'll post more information about that in our poker lounge for anyone that's interested. You can get access to that. I've tried to been conscious about like adding in um, more sections into our Discord or more chat channels just to kind of flood it with stuff. So that one is one where you just have to add your role. So you can go to join. Which one is it? Join any team, and you can react for the Poker Fox role. And the cool part is you don't have to be part of the DAO to be in that chat. That's just for anyone that's degen enough within our Discord that's interested in poker events and such that we may host. I mean, people that have TFFs have Foxy. We're planning on doing a Foxy poker tournament tonight. I'll be setting that up, and I'll send out more details to that once I finalize it. We're going to be using Poker Now. I know I sent out a UPoker invite for people to join our league there. Just trying to figure out what's the easiest platform for us to use. Poker Now is I believe what's going to be used for Savannah, so just makes our life a little bit easier for us doing it and people getting used to the platform. And then when they have their poker tournament, it'll kind of be like the same thing. And I believe for the Savannah Poker Tournament, it's open for 20 foxes. So it'll kind of be 2 tables of 10. We'll whittle it down to 5 people. Once we have 5, you'll get a special kind of perk from the Savannah side, and we'll join forces with, I think, 3 other projects, one of which is Savannah. And then we'll play for the top 5 places, get to additional prizes. So it should be a pretty fun event, and we're throwing 10,000 Foxy their way to pay for like as part of their prizes up top. Um, so for anyone that's interested in possibly obtaining more Foxy, you could sign up for it. It's free to sign up. There's only going to be 20 slots open, so if there's more than 20 people interested in joining, I'll have to do it as kind of a raffle style. But keep an eye out for that. And again, that's going to be in our poker lounge. Just trying to add some level of fun to it. And there's also both a poker game that Grape's doing on the 29th, as well as a fantasy sports for anyone that's interested in like the fantasy football league kind of stuff that they're doing. I think for both. There's 2 different sports kinds that they're doing it for. I apologize because I've been looking at a lot of things recently. But for anyone that's interested in that, just let us know. We'll push out probably if there's enough interest in it. I think we can get up to 30 people from our community in it. I believe it's free also for that. I'll push it out probably in our FoxyDAO as a raffle for 30 people if you're interested in joining. I just want to make sure there's enough interest for it. Let's see. Den's Marketplace. Push out Den's Marketplace. We cut our prices. We talked about it on the back end just to try to figure out like what makes the most sense. There's a lot of dens that exist that have anywhere from 3 to 6 rooms, and based off the pricing of Foxy and how many foxes are staked, we decided to drop our prices down. We did keep the limits on the supplies the same, so. For the one-on-one collaboration side, that's still going to be 100 total. So if you're interested in obtaining any of those, remember there's only going to be 100 of each of those. And then we've got epics, rares, uncommons, and commons, and it goes anywhere from 300, 600, 1,000 to 1,500 as the total supply. So even from a common room side of things, only every other den will be able to have that specific room. So if you're interested in it, I would say to get it earlier rather than later, and you can do that from our Den's Marketplace, and that's all done with our Foxy token for purchasing them. So just another level of utility that we're throwing out to our community as a whole, which is our goal at the end of the day. And we mentioned the Den collabs that we put out there. So right now, the 2 that we pushed so far have been Pesky Penguins and Solsteads. We have some more in the works as they get designed and approved from the other team side. We'll push those out in our announcements as well. We're definitely excited to get more and more projects their own dens, just to really increase our exposure for foxes as a whole. And I do appreciate. I don't know who sent it. That's one of the reasons why I'm one of the bigger fans of dings that we have. Someone sent a ding over to the Pesky Penguins den and told them to basically that they need to buy more foxes or have any foxes really in their dens. So I appreciate you, and keep putting the pressure on them and see what kind of fox they end up getting. Let's see. The second to last thing was last night. We had our first remint. That was something that was created by Starstock. They reached out to us to see if we'd be interested. I think actually Solana Princess reached out to us, see if we'd be interested in doing a remint. The way that it worked is between us and them. We donated a couple of foxes. They bought, I believe, 8 foxes in total, and they bought a mix. They bought a crown fox. Well, for the more rare side, we had a pirate fox as well as a red coat, and then the rest were kind of more floor foxes for the most part. And they sold off 10 slots. They were 5.5 Solana a piece. At the end of the day, every single person that was in it got a fox. So at worst case scenario, you got a floor fox, for 5.5 Solana, a slight markup from what the floor was when we first had pushed out notifications for it. But at the end of the day, everyone got foxes. It was a pretty good event. You spun a wheel. You had not a time slot. You had a number slot based off of your number and where that wheel landed. That's the fox you got. They should have been sent out this morning. I don't know if anybody cares to just confirm that for me. I was just double checking that last night, and they said they'll send them out this morning. So you should be getting your foxes soon if you're a part of it. It seemed like a lot of people were really into that event. So they've contacted me to try and figure out when we can set up our next one. We were talking about possibly doing one when we have a more of a degen style where we put in a couple famous foxes and then have it kind of mostly trans-dimensional or dens, and offer a lower ticket price somewhere to the tune of 2.5, maybe 3 Solana, and you have a chance at winning a famous fox from it at the end of the day. So I don't know exactly what we're going to turn it into for the next one, but if there is enough interest in it, we'll certainly run another one. I had a pretty good time. I thought it was pretty fun. Chat seemed to enjoy it. Um, and it's a good way for us to increase exposure. I think they'll be throwing that video up on YouTube if they haven't already. So if anyone's interested in just seeing what that remint process is even about, we're the first ones on Solana to do it with them. I know they've done a couple of ETH projects, not Solana Princess and Zombie Monkey, but there were other projects that had done it for ETH. And yeah, I thought it was pretty fun and definitely a little degen-y, definitely right up our alley with at least how our DAO has been. So that's been quite fun. And the very last thing, which was something that was pushed out my time, 3 o'clock this morning, but I know it's a different time for Foxy Dev. The interest in sending bulk NFTs. So I know personally, having like I don't even know 20 plus Solana wallets, give or take, for a plethora of different reasons. I've been wanting to consolidate NFTs, and I know a lot of people have said Soulport was something you can use. I just get worried about kind of the security side of things in general with trying to use something like that. So Foxy Dev had built in a way for bulk sending NFTs. Like we mentioned earlier, you can only fit 6 in a transaction, so you can send 6 at a time, and it costs 50 Foxy to do, plus whatever the small gas fee is on Solana. So feel free to check that out. You can do that at famousfoxes.com/FoxySend. And we've added in an icon for that in our menu as well. But that just helps people, kind of clean up their wallets a little bit, maybe move something from burner wallets to your main wallet. Just an easy way to kind of consolidate NFTs. I know I have to do that real bad. So looking forward to other people using that out. And, if you like the utility, if you have any questions, anything's worthwhile for us kind of changing or refining, always feel free to ping us. We're always watching, we're always looking, we're always jotting notes down and building. I think that's kind of one of the most important things at the end of the day. So those are the main hot items that I wanted to at least kick off our DAO VC with. I'll kind of turn it over if Dev and Papa want to chat at all a little bit about anything that they've been seeing in the community recently, or things that are going on. I'll kind of open it up to them, and then if not, if people want to ask questions, I'll jump in our DAO NFT Alpha first, and then I'll check out Foxy Chat. Just ping me in there if you send a question. That way I just know where it's at, so I don't miss anything. But I'll kind of turn it over to you guys.
let's turn it over to the crowd. Actually, let them ask us any questions they might have. Tell us what you're excited about. Tell us why you're sticking with us, because I know so many of you have, and we appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested to hear from the crowd. I haven't seen anyone request yet. I'm just scrolling through. Fox Chat has a lot in there. All right, Seb, I saw you first. I'll bring you up first, and then we'll jump to you, Silver. How's it going there, Seb?
Hey guys, just want to say I'm excited for all things Foxy. Just because like you're opening up the ecosystem, and it's exciting to see Foxy being used in other ways rather than just selling it.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I mean, I think, at the end of the day, with us still having, 80% plus NFTs staked, and everyone getting Foxy, it just adds another level of, utility to the space. I think that's the important thing. All of our tools that we're creating, it's not around how much Solana does it cost to do one thing or another. It's the way of just staking a Fox, getting that token, and then using it for what you want to do with it, which I think adds a lot of value within our community.
Yeah, just like Foxy and Foxes becoming its own kind of ecosystem, I think is like really powerful and good for the brand and good for us, just like famousfoxes.com just becoming like a go-to place to see, you could send pings, send NFTs, see your foxes. It's all great and I love it.
Yeah, I think that's fun. I kind of wonder how many people literally just have Discord, Magic Eden, and a Fox page open on their computer. Like that's what I envision most of our community just has set up, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, thanks for all your hard work, guys.
Of course, thanks for coming up. I'm bringing Brink up in general because Brink usually comes up here to hang out. I'll drop you down, Seb, just so I can keep track of people, and we'll bring up Silver.
Actually, it's a good thing to mention the Foxy ecosystem. Actually, it's a conversation I've been having a lot lately. Brink is one of the people I've been talking to about this topic, and it highlights one of my issues with Solana right now, which is the entire concept of staking that I think we kind of pioneered, and a huge shout out to FoxyDAO for that. But what happens is that because we introduced staking, because Honey DeFi staking is now a thing, every project feels this obligation to add it to their roadmap, to add it to their product, and they don't even really know why they're doing it. They just launch staking, which means they need a token, which means now they have a token for no apparent reason. And I think what we're really trying to do is make it so that the staking has a purpose, the Foxy has a purpose, and it's a revolving ecosystem rather than just something that we're doing as a stopgap to keep people from listing.
Yeah, you bring up a good point there with honey staking and DeFi and all that fun stuff. I mean, I totally agree with you. I think a lot of projects out there, create staking because they don't know what they want to do with their project, so they just kind of try to make it a thing, which I think is kind of interesting because I think a lot of people right now, I think people are becoming more and more aware of the fact that projects are just becoming like buzzword, buzzword, buzzword versus like actually wanting to build and deliver for their community. And, I think that's just an important thing. I started seeing it, at least within our alpha side, where people are like, yeah, this just doesn't really seem like, they're builders. They're kind of just throwing like buzzwords out just to hopefully, you know, catch on to a hype train or something like that and just sell out and probably just fuck off. And like at the end of the day, that's not good for the ecosystem. And there was someone that posted today, I think two sets of I don't even know 10 15 mints in each that's just going on today. So there's like between 20 to 30 probably projects plus coming out on Solana every day. And I just get worried that for the most part, those projects are more on the malicious side, and it's not good for the ecosystem. But at the end of the day, if people keep buying into them, there's not really much you could do about it. But I brought Sylv. Yeah, I brought. Sorry, Brink. Go ahead if you had comment.
Oh, that's okay.
Good morning, guys.
Morning, Silver.
I just, for me, the best part about our community, our ecosystem, is our alpha channel. It's like we're always. I know Brink kind of gets mad at us because we pigeonhole ourselves in there, and we're just in there constantly.
What do you mean? There's other channels?
But I mean, the sense of camaraderie from the people that I see there all the time, like we're there to help each other out. Like, hey, I'm short a soul. Hey, I need a little bit of need to start my wallet. We're there and we're doing. I mean, like right now, we're even helping each other out, which is it's just amazing. So that's what I love about my foxes.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of that passive income, baby.
Fuck you, Brink. Don't say that.
No, I think it's anybody that's hung around long enough is already going to hear what I'm going to say anyways. But I think a lot of people too, and it's come to the realization as more of an OG project that you guys have in the ecosystem with, the late September start, which feels like forever for everything. But you slowly start to see how other projects evolve that are more or less like that OG title. And Foxes are starting to slowly get more of that recognition that people are saying like, oh, how long have you guys been a project? And they want to look at what we've done. And so much has happened. Like they don't even read the announcements channel because there's so much in there. They just want someone to explain all the things that have happened like the past couple of months or so. It's nearly impossible. It's like just take a couple of minutes and scroll through and just read the announcements. But it's awesome to be able to onboard so many new people. There's just a good consensus around what our community stands for, and that's one of the coolest things to me. Is that was one of my big things originally when I joined Foxes, was because I got burnt on the first project I minted because I was following what Trey Songz was doing, and he just led me astray, just in the wrong direction entirely. So I figured, okay, invest in a team. It seemed like that was the first thing I did. I read the announcements in Famous Foxes, like, okay, coming from the other server I just got in and minted something that turned out to be terrible. These guys actually have proper grammar and punctuation, and they're running it professionally and running it as a brand. And just kind of from day one, I more or less tried to integrate myself in the community and just tried to meet as many people as I can. So it's cool to see people come in from the typical expectation in the Sol ecosystem right now is like, okay, how quickly can I flip this, or what kind of money can I make in this project? Oh, there's more value here than just how much the floor price of the Fox may be compared to like a week from now compared to today. And it becomes less of an NFT in the back of your mind, like, oh, I'm going to sell this as soon as it hits 10 or 20 or 50 or whatever. It's just that becomes your identity in the server. It becomes your identity like on Twitter or wherever else you use it. And then it's just kind of in the background. You're a Fox. Everything else is, the NFTs you have your fun with, you do your DJ and stuff, but you always kind of go back to your Fox fam. So it's been cool to see that evolve. And I think that's, we've set the stage for it as new people come in. They see how strong of the community we have. It blows their expectations from what other projects they've seen out, and then they end up sticking around. So I look forward to more of that.
Yeah, and I couldn't have said it. I couldn't have paid you better to say it better yourself. But no, the thing too that I constantly see, and I know someone else just pings another message in Alpha Channel. The people that are around that are doing well, that enjoy the community and such, like they're accumulating more and more foxes. So it's going to become a little bit more scarce to really get into the community. I mean, we have such a large collection as a total, right? But from like our alpha side, I mean, it's really only just our famous foxes. So, for those that aren't in yet, I mean, the more people that accumulate, foxes, the better they're doing, or whatever that's going on in the space. I mean, it's going to create a little bit more of a barrier to entry for other people that want to kind of join into us. But that's really how a lot of communities are that are stronger. There's a lot of people that have, quite a few. I mean, there's not a lot of people. There's a few people that have quite a lot of, SMBs or DGen apes or these other high profile projects that exist out there, and it just becomes more and more difficult to get into those projects. So that's the one thing that I've started seeing a higher trend with. I mean, it's definitely going with the increasing demand in general for our floor price on our foxes and such. But that's a good thing to see for our system, especially for us being now 3.5 months old, or 2.5 months. Oh yeah, 3.5 months old. um, it's very interesting to kind of see in the space. So I certainly appreciate that. And I appreciate the kind words too. You guys do a hell of a job yourselves. I try to give as much credit as I can to our community because we literally would be nothing without our community. So that's a very important thing, for myself, and I'm sure on behalf of our team, to kind of say. So, but I appreciate the kind words, Silver, and yeah, we're definitely working on kind of building out our ecosystem as best as we can and deliver and provide value to our community, and I think I'm seeing that more and more often every day, which makes me happy. And to Brink's point, my elevator speech for people when they're like, "Hey, can you tell me about the foxes?" I start off by asking them how much time they have because if they're expecting a 30-second to minute response, I think this morning was about 12 minutes, and that I think is probably a record for me right now, even though we pushing more and more things out, but. But yeah, it's very exciting to try and figure out what a good elevator pitch is, and then also at the same time, like, not even thinking about it and just telling them everything we've done, because people normally just get blown away. Um, so that's pretty awesome. I did see a question pop up, and I know Thesis has been patiently waiting, as well as Marie. I just wanted to throw it out to see if Foxy Dev wanted to kind of comment a little bit on. So Achilles in Alpha asked if we could expand more on the status for the missions and how the dens, foxes, and rarity will come into play. So Dev, I don't know if you mind jumping into current progress and touching on some of those items.
Yeah, sure. So I think we have almost finished the on-chain component for mission. So the only thing left is to integrate it with the front end and like test it for a bit. So yeah, I guess we should see it next month, if not this month. And so about the other questions, let's see. So the idea is to like allow us certain attributes to take part in a mission. So like some missions could require like only pirates. So we could allow the pirate eye patch as well as the pirate hat just for that mission. So other foxes won't qualify. And each mission would have a treasure chest as a reward. And the chest can have random rewards. So like ranging from Foxy to say even a NFT. So, but that would be like 0.1% or something, or you could get interior rooms and stuff. And for dens, I think I should have made this clear in the previous announcement. But a den is not a stand-in for a fox, but a den is like a requirement for certain missions. So you won't be able to like use a den instead of a fox. So like a certain mission, if a certain mission requires 3 foxes, you'll have to stay 3 foxes. But some could require say 2 foxes and 1 den. So you'll have to use a matching attribute then, say 2 pirates and 1 pirate den. Um, yeah. And as for ranking, I don't think rarity and ranking comes into play, only the attributes. So yeah, we're planning to include all classes of foxes. So like even the, what do you say, the lowest rarity stuff. Let's say I don't know, t-shirt or something. Like we'll have stuff for everything. And then in future we have planned to have group missions. So say uh, 20 foxes for mission and allow the entire community to stake at once. So yeah, that's like future enhancement, if you call it, I guess. Yeah. Does that answer your
Yeah,
question?
yeah. No, I think that was great. Yeah, I know we talked about it before, but yeah, that was one thing that I hadn't harped on, was the fact that the dens aren't stand-in for foxes, so they'll be kind of supplemental, and we'll still kind of talk to on the backside to figure out, like, the rarity and like length side of things. I think if you have more foxes, it would be, you might get more of a reward side, more treasure chests or something along those lines, or the potential for having better loot from it. So there's just some other components that we'll work on refining, as we're kind of building that out to push it for the community. But I'm gonna drop Silver down. Appreciate you jumping up here. Feel free again to request if you want. Thesis, I'm bringing you up next. All right, how's it going there, Thesis?
It's going well. Can you hear me?
Sure can.
Awesome. Well, thanks for I guess, taken my comment here. Just wanted to give a shout out to the marketing team that y'all have assembled. I know that was a big focus, a couple of weeks ago as something to kind of accelerate. And I just think the traction that we've gotten on Twitter, especially, has been awesome. And seeing the notification this morning about the hashtag Get Foxy Week, I just think it's super exciting because I mean I think everyone who has spent any amount of time in this project or in Discord would agree that the amount of work that the team has done behind the scenes is maybe second to none. And so, the biggest key is just getting more eyeballs on the project, and it's just been exciting to see the traction. So kudos to that team. And the other thing that I want to give y'all a shout out on is just the focus on collaboration. Somebody said earlier, y'all were first on staking or early on staking. Now everybody wants to do staking. You guys just seem to be staying ahead of the pack. Now you're focused on these cross project collaborations with the Den Interiors, which I think is just genius to get these groups to focus in on the utility of Foxy and all the things that this community can offer. So, just appreciate you guys always staying ahead of the pack. And then a question, or I guess a comment, I don't know, is just you mentioned it, Drax, about just the challenge of the elevator pitch. You guys are literally delivering so much that it's probably difficult for new people to really understand what it means to be a famous fox or to have a fox. And it just blows my way. It's almost frustrating on Twitter to just see how many people just have no clue like what's going on behind the scenes in this ecosystem. But I think it's kind of our job to figure out how do we package this in a way that's kind of easy to digest and understand. And so I'm just curious, what 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 kind of approaches are you thinking of taking as this ecosystem continues to expand? I'm sure there'll be 10 new features by next month, right? So just would love to hear your thoughts on like, I think that's part of the onboarding trick is just trying to make this as approachable as possible while continuing to push the envelope. But just in general, love to hear your thoughts on that. But just super grateful to be a part of this community. And it's of all the NFTs I'm a part of, I just feel most confident in this one for the long term. And that's tough to say in an NFT space, but it changes every day. But so just kudos to you guys, and just glad to be here.
No, I appreciate it, and I'll make sure I send you your Foxy later for the comments. No, but yeah, to get to your question there, I think onboarding has been something in the back of my mind, at least recently. I know I've mentioned it, I think, over the last 2 weeks for our voice chats. I would like to, and I'm working on, in my spare time, whatever that is, creating, more so I think like YouTube videos or something that just makes it more easily digestible to the same terminology that you use there. I think that's an important thing. I've noticed, at least in my normie industry, that onboarding is very difficult to do, and especially to do it well. And I mean, a huge shout out to our mods and even our more active folks within the space. Brink for sure and Quay have done very well helping us out with kind of onboarding some new folks and to try to get them some information. I know we've had some infographics kind of created around certain things. I don't know if maybe you want to create some more of those that might help out as kind of placeholders. I know everyone has different like learning styles too that I try to be a little bit conscious to make sure to hit a little bit of all of that. But yeah, I think at least to start off, I'd like to make some YouTube videos, get them posted up on Famous Foxes um, YouTube channel, and then that way we can just create a section, really just one link to start off. Maybe even a section or a group of videos for someone that's brand new to our project or to the space, where to kind of get started. I know we do have a new Fox channel that has a lot of information in it, but yeah, there could just be some more streamlined ways of kind of getting that information out. And I'm definitely always open to suggestions. So if anyone sees something that might be a little bit easier or better, don't hesitate to bother me or ping me or DM me, drop me a friend request or whatever you prefer. more than happy to listen to opinions and to try to get something going. Again, in my spare time, whatever that is. But no, I certainly appreciate the question, Thesis.
I wanted to jump on that real quick. I think one of our issues, as highlighted for a long time, has been marketing. And like mentioned, the team we have assembled is really good at what they do. But what we're starting to see now is a slight shift in that. In that also, I've worked for large organizations in the past. I've worked for Shopify most recently in various different roles within their design team. And one thing you'll start to notice when tech companies start growing is they split their marketing teams into the traditional marketing, which I would say is brand marketing, which is the establishment of the company in the public image. But then they split that into not just the initial brand marketing, but they create something called product marketing, which I think is what we are struggling with right now and what these companies are dedicating entire teams to. In the case of Shopify, it was almost 30 people. And it's entirely focused on presenting everything the product does and everything the product is capable of. Because once you get to a point where your products have so many features and so many things you can do with it, it is incredibly tough for someone who is entirely new to your product or even someone who's used it for a long time to discover all of these new features and to be continuously aware of them. So I think we have to start wrapping our minds around that and being conscious of the fact that we are approaching this inflection point where the number of our features is getting so big that we need to have a different way of representing them. Like as in when you go to famousboxes.com right now, um, there's only a handful of things that we list out as some of the features that we have built, and I think we need to get better at presenting those from the outset or working on our elevator pitch, like mentioned.
Oh, well said. Well said. I don't know if Thesis, if you had
Actually,
any. Oh, go ahead, Dev.
yeah, I was gonna say the same thing as Papa actually. So, like, kudos to the marketing team. Like, that was one area we were lacking in, and yeah, I'm very happy with them. I'm I also appreciate them for like keeping up with me because I just go and drop stuff in announcement, and they're like, "What the fuck? You didn't even tell us." And so yeah, thanks for keeping up with me.
That's how quickly we get some stuff done. Or I should say how quickly
Yeah.
FoxyDAO gets some stuff done. Someone recommends it. I think there have been a couple of Twitter posts that people like someone comments and then like 30 minutes later it's implemented. It's just really entertaining to see that within the space. But definitely, as Mun's put it in there, yeah, FoxyDAO is our goat for sure. But yeah, I'll drop you down, Thesis. I appreciate the comments. Marie, I don't see you up here anymore. If you still have any questions, drop that up, but I'll bring up Achilles as well. All right, Achilles, how's it going?
Hey, what's up, guys? Just
Not much. What's going on with you?
nothing much. I'm on my way to the airport right now, so
Nice, safe travels.
thank you, appreciate it. Little ski trip with the family. So I just wanted to give a quick shout out to FoxyDAO. I mean, there's been just on my own occasion 2 or 3 separate times where, like you guys just said in the comments, or I DM FoxyDAO, and he just either fixes the issue that I'm working with or literally implements a new crazy functionality that someone just mentioned in the comments. So it is really crazy. I come from a computer science background, so I appreciate the quick turnaround because it's not always the case. So I just want to give a quick shout out, and then also something I've been kind of thinking about. I've been in this space for several months now, and you kind of go through the phases of you start off and you really care about the floor price. You're kind of in it for the financial reasons, right? And then the more I kind of am in the space, I realize that kind of the floor, I guess, you could call it the chart as the famous foxes have evolved has actually been, in my opinion, very bullish. Like we obviously started off and we pumped a lot, right? We went up to like 15 SOL or something like that. And I think that usually when projects do that, it's kind of a negative in a way because you're kind of limiting the amount of people that can enter the space. And so the way, you know, it kind of dropped back down and now we're slowly kind of really methodically grinding our way up is incredibly bullish. So I just wanted to kind of throw that out and just say like this growth and these constant updates that you guys are providing is just, you know, really helpful to all aspects of the project. So just wanted to give a shout out to the whole team.
No, I appreciate that, and yeah, to your point, yeah, I mean, our project, you know, a couple days after launch day, actually last night at the remit, I'm not sure for those of you that were not there, every Fox that they you know gave out from the remit, they wanted to talk a little bit about the price history on if they had them, because again, a couple we had given them from our Foxy Dev wallet. Um, One of them in particular was one that someone paper handed day of mint, I guess due to some FUD or whatnot, for 0.33 Solana for a famous Fox. And whoever bought it literally sold it, I think, the next day for like 3.69. And then like that was resold the day after for like 9 Solana. So yeah, I mean, like our mint, you know, post mint was crazy to say the least. And I agree with you, like that kind of price action. I think you really see that for, I want to say, like a decent amount of projects. I wouldn't say most projects, but a decent amount of projects, because they always kind of get that like hype factor. And you know, when we had minted, it was a whole different minting game than it is today. So like having said that, you know, that wasn't of a concern for us as a team. You know, just the fact that our floor like went absolutely crazy, and the fact that it kind of like crashed back down at the same time. You know, it happens in the space. And I think at the end of the day, the important thing to kind of see with a lot of projects that exist out there is not even their response to it, but really just what they're doing around it. You know, I know that some people harp on floor price and such, you know, every once in a while. It's not something that we even really focus on. You know, it's just something that we see it, it exists there. You know, the good thing is, you know, from our collection side, you know, we do have our transdimensional and our dens, which is a significantly lower cost barrier to entry. So people that are just interested in checking out our community, you know, earning some Foxy, using some utility that we have, you know, you don't have to go in for a Fox if you can't afford it, or if you don't want to put that much of your portfolio into one NFT. You know, there are other NFTs out there that still kind of get you into our community a little bit here or there, and you get, you know, some decent utility from it at the same time. And that's kind of important for us. I think a lot of projects, you know, that are out there, you know, the one that I'm, you know, I'm not going to say I'm disappointed in them. I think they're doing a fantastic job. That's why we kind of partner, not necessarily partnered with them, but collab with them. But Solstice, you know, they've got a fairly low supply, you know, which at the time was a real big hype thing. You know, they pumped to crazy floors. You know, but you know their supply size is quite small. So you know, depending on what kind of people you get to join that community and how much conviction there is and how many NFTs they want to own, you know, you end up getting a sizable supply, but then you have a very small community, and then a high cost barrier to entry. You know, I won't say leads for disaster, but it definitely leads for some time where you're going to kind of fall into a lull period. And I think with our project, there's always been opportunity for people to get into foxes, even for famous foxes, for transdimensional, and now for our dens, which makes me, you know, hella bullish on our project, because like some people say, every day we get more and more people joining us. You know, we see our unique wallets going up, and that's at the end of the day what really matters for us. So just keep delivering and growing. I think that's the best, most healthy thing for the space that we can possibly ask for.
Absolutely.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just confirming. I agree. Well put.
Yeah, it harkens back to something um, that we've been saying in our DMs for a long time since we minted. It's that our roadmap and our floor price are not related to one another. That we are, it means we're building regardless of the floor price. And if the floor price goes up as a result of that, that is fantastic. If it does not, then we believe it will over time. And I think we'll see this reflected in a lot of projects that are building exclusively to pump their floor price. I'm not gonna name any names. I'm not gonna point anyone out. Um, but there are projects that are building bullshit, like casinos for their holders, and then revenue sharing entirely for the purpose of pumping their own floor price. And you'll see that that works for a very short amount of time, and then they just instantly collapse within a few days of that.
Yeah, that's that's an interesting point you bring up there, Papa. Is just the fact that a lot of projects right now are seeming to be in like that degen gambling side of things, and I know we've been approached, and I'm not against, at least throwing it out there that, there are projects that have approached us to say, hey, do you want to do like an exclusive partnership with us? If they gamble through our link, there's like kind of kickbacks you can do. You can donate it to charity. You can do whatever you want. I mean, our general stance, from the gambling side, we're not against it. I mean, it's going to happen. People are going to do what they're going to do. I think the key elements are be responsible with it. At the end of the day, I personally don't think it's super healthy for our environment as a whole. Some people, are of the mindset that, why give it to, casinos in real life versus casinos online. I'm more of a mindset where if you make it really easy for people to get into it and you gamify it, you're really creating more of a problem than what I think, casinos in real life are. But as long as people are safe and you're using money that you don't care about, there's nothing wrong with it. Don't spend rent money. Don't put yourself in a worse financial situation. I think you're already in a risky space with crypto and NFTs, and so the smarter you are with it, the better poised you are against it. You'll be in good shape. At the end of the day, casinos are a numbers game. It's all statistics. Even for something that's 50-50, if they have a 3.5% fee to do it, that's their advantage. Their advantage is 3.5%. You can quantify it. So just keep that in mind when you're doing things. That's all I'll say from a general security safety side of things. I have not done a degen coin flip or a coin. I'll do the game that we have where you do work or whatever, and you play it on blackjack. I think right now I'm at like 4 or 5 grand or something like that. I'm more than happy with just doing that in our degen Discord ways. But I'm not gambling my money on NFT ecosystem gambling sections. That's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, to add to that, I'd like to add that in the longer term, I believe only like proper ecosystem utility will prevail and not all this gambling stuff. Because like in the end, people want to see the chain mature, and I don't think casinos and coin flips help with that. So that's been our only focus all this time to mature the ecosystem as a whole, and that will always be the what do you say, the goal of our project.
Yeah. Well said. Well, appreciate your insights, Achilles. I don't know if you have any follow ups. If not, I'll drop you down as a speaker, and we'll get. I apologize between Frank and Crane. I didn't see who came up first, so I'll bring up Frank first since you're in my list first.
Thanks, guys.
Sure. All right, Frank, you're up. What's going
What
on?
up, guys?
Hey.
What's going on? So, I guess I just wanted to, I guess not like, I guess the gaming subject I wanted to touch on. So I know that we're moving like to like the 2D like pixel land with Savannah. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Yep.
So I was just curious, are we gonna maybe move into like I don't know, like maybe like a Super Smash style gameplay? Because I really want to fight Brink.
I'll let you two duke that out. I don't want to put the cart before the horse, but
Yeah, for sure.
we are in talks. Yeah, we are in talks with trying to get some of that going. So I
Cool.
would
I mean,
say
anyone can get it, Drax. I mean, I'm on YouTube, Space Commander, Hutto, Thesis, anyone. I'm
it's literally going to
calling
be all the
everyone out.
foxes against you, man. Like you're going to get wrecked.
Yeah, I know. It's gonna be great. I think my mustache might take like a couple blows, but then once that goes, I'm pretty screwed.
No, that sounds good. Yeah, we're always looking, for the next level. Like people had mentioned in here, I think the 3D side has been something that we've been talking about, on the back end a bit. We've got some stuff in the works for that. Once I think we get that a bit more fleshed out and we're happy with the final product, I think it just lends us to whatever platforms we want to exist in that angle. And
Cool.
I'm certainly looking forward to that. So
Yeah, for sure. Nah, I mean, I love this. This is like, I'm relatively new to the whole like side of Solana for the NFTs, but from what I've seen, I know there's some great projects out there, but like most of them, I would say like 98% of them are just rugs and just not this. Like I don't know how to explain it. It's just like you can just see clear as day like how well everyone here is, like the community, FoxyDAO, yourself, like it's just outstanding, and I just love to be like I just have so much fun. I think I tweet Famous Fox at least like 300 times a day.
Well, we appreciate that for sure. And yeah, like you said, I mean, it's a lot of fun. I think that's part of like the element for our project, right? I think a lot of NFT projects um, are working on getting better into the like entertainment side. I think that's a big portion of it. People at the end of the day, if you're going to spend X hours a day, whatever your time allotment is, you want it to be enjoyable. I know for people that are stock traders or crypto traders, I'm sure you have fun for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever your analysis side. But then it becomes a job. Then you're just like constantly staring at charts, drawing lines, hoping that something happens.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, within our space, I mean, we've got game things going on, people looking at different projects, mints going on. There's just so much craziness that goes on, and it's just fun. You find whatever you want to have fun with, you latch onto it and you do it. If you want to be creative and create gifts, like go nuts. If you want to, sage all the time because of people doing inappropriate posts, go nuts with Sage. It's a lot of fun to see within the space and our community as a whole.
Yeah, no, for sure. I completely agree with everything you said. I'm just having so much fun right now. So I think that's what it's supposed to be about, and not so much as like obviously other people are in it just for money and things like that. I just like meeting everyone and just having fun, to be honest.
Yeah, and earn that Foxy.
Hell yeah. I still need to get it done though. I'm trying to get a Fossa. I need it.
I was gonna say, man, you've been saying that since they were like 0.4 for the floor.
I know.
You're paying double now.
I mean, like I said, money's not really like a problem to me. I just want to make sure I get the right one.
Of course.
That's
of
kind
course.
of
There's a lot of nice ones out there.
But for sure. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to anything that comes to it, because I know anything that comes is gonna be great, especially being able to fight Brink. I'll be having a lot of fun with that.
All right, we'll make sure we put that on the list. Fight Brink is one of the higher
maybe
priorities.
We can do like a showdown or something like weekly, and people can come and watch. It'd be hilarious.
We'll make a thing out of it.
Could be fun. Get everybody
it'll be
involved.
Fun.
Like a Roman Coliseum type thing. That would be hilarious.
That would be hilarious.
All right, cool. Well, I'll stop talking and give someone else time to speak. But thank you.
Of course, thanks for coming up, Frank. I'll drop you down, and we'll bring SRF up. I saw Crane drop down. Not sure where Crane went, so apologize, Crane. Maybe if you jump back in, we'll bring you back up. Let's bring on SRF. How's it going there, Surf?
Hey, so I'll keep it short. Basically, just echoing what a lot of people pretty much already said. But I mean, with the way you guys kind of built everything and continue like the positivity, and then that kind of extended to the community, and the community kind of helps bring more of like-minded people. I think this particular, the Famous Fox Federation, brings a different type of NFT buyer than you see going for a lot of the other ones. And I think if we just continue this, I mean, there's really no end to, I mean, what can be accomplished by it. So you guys are doing great. Community's awesome. Just wanted to say I appreciate all of you, and that's pretty much it.
No, I appreciate that, and yeah, I mean that's kind of what we're going for, with our project. So appreciate the comments there for sure. And I mean, really, everything that people do in our Discord, I think, is kind of fuel for our fire. For me, at least me personally, I believe Dev and Pop. I don't want to speak for them personally, but it's just the activity side that we have. The onboarding side for the space, the new people coming in. A lot of people saying this is their first NFT. For some people, it was their first mint. There's just so much opportunity that exists out there, and you can make the world. The internet has made the world a very small place, and I think NFTs just allow people to kind of cling on to certain communities, and to essentially build from there. I mean, even if you're not a person that's doing the coding side, every little bit helps. Every retweet, every comment, everything like that from the community side definitely helps spread the word of Foxes. So, some people get a bit more involved than others, and that's perfectly awesome. But yeah, we certainly appreciate the community and everything that really has been done from that front. So shout out to you guys as well. And I'm not sure if I don't believe you had a question there. If there's any questions, I see that there are no one else requesting to go, and I know we've been going over just an hour. I haven't seen anything pop up in chat. People are just doing their normal DGen stuff, which I certainly appreciate. Kind of open it up to Dev and Fox and Papa if you guys have any final thoughts, questions, comments, or Brink, you as well.
Yeah, actually, Gir is pinging me in DMs to say that he's my master and I work for him. So yeah, that's that. I work for him.
I love it.
Yeah, so I don't think I'll be here again anytime soon. So I wanted to say shout out to the entire community. Bronk, not Brink. I don't like Brink. Bronk and Guay, Ronnie, all the Fox mods. And yeah, the entire community as a whole, thanks for being here. And I appreciate your support. That's it.
Well said. Well said.
I'll echo that. I do want to thank everyone, especially everyone who's stuck around with us ever since the mint has managed not to paper hand or cabbage hand. I know Misty likes to call it cabbage hands. I appreciate every single one of you, and I am very excited for what is still to come. I think one of the things that sets us apart, or that I like to think sets us apart, is the fact that the famous Fox Federation for us is not necessarily an NFT project, but it's a product. And I think treating it that way, even just mentally, is what helps us build it out to be something bigger and better than what most people are even capable of envisioning.
No, I think that's very well said. I certainly echo the comments. I think our community is fantastic. Love the creativity, the innovation. A lot of people, suggest things to us, and it's something that could be front running, other projects, something for us to just look into and figure out if we actually need it. Does the space need it? And a lot of things we implement, or we at least dig enough into it to figure out if we do need it or if we don't need it. And we wouldn't really have that. We wouldn't have that kind of reach that we really have without our community. And for having 80% of our NFTs staked on a sizable collection. Most collections that are coming out now are a few thousand. We've got a total of 18,444, I believe, or 445, and no, 444, 454. And just thinking about that, is just kind of wild. I don't really know if there's any other projects that have that many NFTs as a whole from their collection staked. So that just goes to show, the conviction within our community and the activity that we have, the events that we put on. I mean, it's all for you guys, and we wouldn't be here without you. I know I've said that before, and I certainly appreciate everyone. I try to push that out as much as I can. But my general final thoughts are always the same in any space that I get into. Always be safe in the Solana side of things. It's a low cost of barrier to entry. There's always going to be some form of nefarious activity out there. It takes a few seconds to create a burner wallet and to fund it. So if you're getting into any mints, if you're, Doesn't matter if you know the community, if you don't know the community, be sure to use a burner. Just protect yourself. Stuff happens all over the place, and at the end of the day, a lot of people have a lot of money in the space, and you don't want to risk it for a potential flip or whatever the next big project is. So just be safe out there is really all I'd say, and have fun with dings. Dings, I think, are underrated, so use dings more often.
Someone's asking about Gen 2. I'd like to pass that to Rabel, see if he wants to say anything about that.
Geez, way to pass the buck like that. I want to think about Gen 2. I just don't want to think about it quite yet. Like, it's in the back of my mind, and it's something that we've thought about since we launched. But it presents a number of problems. One primarily being that it dilutes the supply, which is something that we saw happen with transdimensional foxes, and I think it worked out well. I'm worried that it won't work out well a second time, and I'm worried about maintaining, the consistency in our art style for long enough for it to both still be attractive and to look like famous foxes, but to also be significantly different from what we've done in the first generation. And that combined with even the mere concept of breeding still gives us a lot to think about. So, we're thinking about it. We're just not quite there yet, I believe.
No, that sounds good. Yeah, we'll keep people in the loop, as we do further developments with that. It's something that we'll be talking about more and more. So if you guys have questions, suggestions, comments, anything along those lines, always drop them out to us. I'll see if Brink, if you have any final comments. If not, I'll disconnect everyone and let you get back to your Fridays, and hopefully everyone will have a good weekend as well.
Same thing I usually say. See you guys in the Discord.